for customers using the Enphase Installer Toolkit. Commissioning is the final step in a system installation. During commissioning, installers configure, test, and verify that all system components are working properly. Commissioning an ensemble system requires the use of the Enphase Installer Toolkit, or ITK. ITK steps installers through a 7-step process from accessing system details in Step 1 all the way to generating a system summary report in Step 7. Completing all steps ensures that the system is fully tested and commissioned. Step 3 in commissioning provides the ability to set time of use settings for customers. Time of use is a utility rate plan in which rates vary according to the time of day, season, and day type, weekday or weekend holiday. This chart outlines an example of a winter rate with peak and off-peak periods. Higher rates are charged during the peak demand hours, and lower rates during off-peak, low demand hours. Rates are also typically higher in summer months than in winter months. Ensemble systems have the ability to manage discharge times for stored energy to allow customers to save valuable solar-produced energy and discharge when economically most beneficial. The schedule can be programmed by the installer using the Installer Toolkit app, which will upload all programming settings into the Envoy. In this lesson, we will learn how to set tariff rate schedules into the system using the Installer Toolkit. This can be done during commissioning or any time after. To set tariff rate schedules with the Installer Toolkit, open the Installer Toolkit as an authorized installer and find and access the system you are working with from the Active Systems list. After accessing the system, from the Systems tab, tap on the Tariff section to select it. The Tariff section is divided into Rate Schedules and Buyback. The Rate Schedules section is where utility schedules and costs for energy are entered. The Buyback section is where costs for what the utility compensates a customer for over-generated power are entered. Let's focus on the Rate Schedule section first. To begin, select the rate schedule type. Select either a single rate schedule or a time of use schedule. A single rate schedule is when energy costs are the same throughout the entire day and there is no daily time of use cost dynamic. Select Single Rate and tap Done to select this option. Notice in this example, the cost of energy during the day is set at 27 cents throughout the day. Simply tap on the Cost field to change the value to represent the customer's actual utility rate and then tap Done. To program seasonal rate changes, tap the plus sign. For this example, we will configure 2 utility seasons, winter and summer. The utility summer season is between May 1st and October 31st, and the utility winter season is between November 1st and April 31st. Select the first season to be designated as the summer season. In this example, we will select May as the start of the summer season. The energy cost is 32 cents per kilowatt hour during summer, so we won't change it. We will now set the second season by tapping the selection box and setting it to winter. The winter season begins in November. The tariff rate increases to 38 cents in the winter, so we will set this to 38 cents per kilowatt hour. If rates are different on weekends versus weekdays, weekend schedules are configured by turning on the slider at the top left of the Installer Toolkit screen. When the season definitions are complete, tap Save. Tap Save again to set these values. Settings can be reconfigured at any time by tapping Configure. Now let's learn how to set a time of use rate in an ensemble system using Installer Toolkit. From the Rates page, as before, select a time of use rate, and then tap Done. There are 2 seasonal periods. To add a second seasonal period, tap the plus sign and a second season will appear. Additional seasons can be added as needed using the plus sign. Configure each season the same way as the single tariff scheduling earlier. Select the first season by tapping on the Season selector and choosing the season. We will select winter for our example. Tap Done and then select the starting month of the season. For our example, we will select October. Tap Done to set it. Now let's set the next season. Tap the season selector for Season 2 and select Summer. Then set the starting month for summer as June. Tap Done after all selections are set. Each season must be configured with baseline and peak periods to define the time of use scheduling. This will determine when in-charge batteries will charge and discharge. Tap the Configuration button for Season 1, Winter. Ensemble systems allow charging from grid power provided incentive programs are not of concern. The default programming behavior of N-Charge systems is not to charge from the grid, but from PV power. N-Charge storage systems can be programmed with a forced charge period, which will cause the batteries to charge instead of discharge to supply loads. This setting will occur on a daily basis unless reprogrammed. Set a base rate for energy in field. The base rate is usually the off-peak cost of energy per kilowatt hour. In this example, the winter base rate is 26 cents per kilowatt hour. Select the base rate field and input 26 cents. A period is time when the utility is charging more than the base rate. These would include peak and partial peak periods. In this example, there is one peak time from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. when the cost of energy is 29 cents per kilowatt hour. Select Period 1 and input 29 cents. Next, input the time boundaries of Period 1. In this example, the time boundary for Period 1 is 3 p.m. to 7:59 p.m. At 8 o'clock p.m., the system will be running at the base rate. Tap the plus sign to add more periods as applicable. Once complete, tap the back arrow at the top of the screen to go back to the main rates page and repeat the process to configure the next season, summer. Set the base rate. In this example, the base rate for summer is 32 cents. Set the Period 1 rate. In this example, the Period 1 rate is 40 cents. Set the time for peak period. In this example, it is 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Once all settings are complete, tap the back arrow and tap Save to save the configuration.